If you are a content creator or a blogger or someone who creates just reels, or maybe you want to get into the social media and start putting up your ideas, but ideas are the only thing that you're lacking, so this podcast is just for you. In this episode of the ImpleBooks Podcast, I will share 5 ways you can get a lot of ideas, actually a pool of ideas. So let's get started. Point number 1 is consume quality, not quantity. In 21st century, there are lots of ways we can watch content. There are Netflix, there are Amazon Prime videos and whatnot. Right? And there are lots of social media websites, short video websites there which provides you with a flood of content. And we consume everything. Maybe some of your friends are sharing something on Facebook, you're watching that, maybe you are just going into that loophole of watching one video after another. So you are actually consuming quantity instead of quality. So you need to control what you are actually viewing, right? Unfollow those people who is actually draining energy out of you. Unfollow all the stuff that is people are sharing. Suppose one of your friends shares a lot of videos or stuff which makes no sense to you, but still you watch them. Unfollow that friend. You don't need to follow him, right? Maybe you're watching a YouTube video. Do not watch all the suggested video that you are seeing it. Watch videos intentionally, right? This way you can have quality of ideas on your brain. And if you're putting shit on your brain, shit will come out from you only, right? So if you can consume quality content, you will get quality ideas, that's for sure. But once you get those ideas, you need to save it somewhere, right? So that brings us towards, second point, capture ideas. Now, previously what I used to think is that every time I get an idea, I was like, hey, that's a great idea. I used to acknowledge that. I used to feel powerful and think that, oh wow, I get this idea. That's nice. I may create a video someday about this, or maybe I will write a blog post and whatnot. But that never used to happen because these ideas used to just pop up in my head, and we used to wait for some time for me to actually, so that I can respond, and then it used to fade away. That's it, because I did not do anything with that idea. So the best way to generate more ideas is to write down those ideas that you have. See, if you have this habit in place where you actually write down your ideas, you will have more ideas. And I did not used to believe it in the past, because when you start writing down your ideas, more ideas actually comes to your mind, because your brain frees up and it creates more space for new ideas. So keep a notebook handy, and if you're already having a phone, you can use your Google Keep or Apple Notes in your phone, so that you can capture ideas every time they pop up. Now, I have seen a lot of people who capture ideas, but what they do is that they don't do anything with it. They just, let it sit there. What you basically need to do is you need to talk about your ideas. You don't need to go out in the social media and talk about all the ideas that you have just picked down. You don't need to do that, right? What you basically need to do is that if you have a friend, you just, talk to him or her about the ideas that you're having. You can say that, hey, I recently got this idea. Suppose, let me give you an example. Suppose you're someone who plays cricket. You suddenly have this idea that, hey, I will show the 3 shots so that you can, play any sort of spin ball. And that's a good idea. You just told that to your friend, okay, hey, I had this idea where on a YouTube video, I will show that, these are the 3 shots you can play when you are faced with a spin ball. And he just mocks you, saying that you can't really make runs on the spin ball, so that you always, most of the time, you just run out. That gives you another idea, like, hey, I can create videos like 5 ways not to run out, right? So what you basically happens is that when you talk about your ideas, some people will come up with different ideas and they will throw it to you. And if that person knows you, there are chances that you will get a lot of ideas by talking to people about your ideas. And also that idea gets cleared on your mind, that what you actually want to convey to people, right? Sometimes we may have a rough idea about something and we think that's a concrete idea, but it's not. Whenever you are actually going to make content or maybe write a blog post about that, you see that idea is not concrete. So talk about your ideas with your friends. And the number 4 point is create brainstorm ritual. I have created a separate podcast yesterday about the brainstorm. So if you haven't listened to that, I highly recommend you that podcast. Link is in the description. Create a time and place to brainstorm. Sit down there and think what are the ideas that is coming up to your mind. And if you want to know like 3 ways to better brainstorm, you can listen to yesterday's podcast. So what you basically need to do is that just sit there and write down whatever ideas that is popping up in your head, and do it consistently. Make a time and place so that you can write those ideas. Now you have all the ideas that is written down there, but there will be time when you can't generate a lot of ideas. You may feel that you have no idea left in you. And that brings us to our fifth point, which is your question your ideas. So somewhere you have written down all the ideas, right? And you just sit there, you can't really get any ideas today. Maybe you just write down 3-4 ideas or maybe none, right? What you basically need to do is that you pull up your ideas notes and just look at all the ideas. Look at all the ideas that you have written down. It will inspire you. It will inspire you to create more ideas. And if that's not enough, question these ideas. So if you have a lot of ideas already written down, you just question each and every idea one by one. So what will happen is that it will help you create one idea from another idea. So you can link different kind of ideas all together as well. You will see that connection is forming. See, once you write down your ideas, it becomes very easy for you to get more ideas. And when you question this, you get crazy different ideas which people may never even think about, right? So always question your ideas. So let me summarize all the points for today. So consume quality, not quantity. And the second is capture ideas every time you have them. Number 3, talk about your idea, talk about your ideas with your friends. Number 4, create brainstorm ritual. And number 5, question your ideas. So that's it for today's podcast. If you like this podcast, don't forget to give 5 stars from wherever you're listening to, and don't forget to subscribe as well. And if you have any query or message, we are ImpleBooks on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. So that's it for today. Have a good day.